different direction.
Exactly right, and this is what's happening. But you know what? You know, Pat, history shows that as long as there's a British presence in Ireland, there will be resistance, and it's very powerful. It is a viable solution for a just and lasting peace in Ireland. And Eire-Nua, let's talk a little bit about Eire-Nua. Eire-Nua, before, you know, again, it proposes a 4-province federal Ireland with devolution of power down to the local level. And
now these provinces would already be in existence. There'd be Ulster, Munster, Leinster.
Yeah, the 4 historic provinces.
The important difference here, though, would be Ulster would be brought back to its historic 9 counties instead of just the lone 6 counties now, which are currently occupied by Britain.
Exactly, and what would happen? The key thing here is the devolution of power. But this, you know, this proposed government structure would create strong provincial parliaments here. You know, in Ulster, we're going to talk about Ulster right now, and with that, you know, they would have the Unionist and Loyalist community would have authentic access to power. It'd be based on proportion, okay?
Instead of fear and numbers and sectarian things such as what religion you are.
Right, and you know what, right now they're very fearful, and I tell you, I would be fearful too of being governed by the Irish government. They have all these tribunals going on. In the report by the John Rowntree organization, they deem the Irish government one of the most corrupt governments in Western Europe. And let's talk a little bit about the conditions, because Eire-Nua is, I wouldn't say it's complicated, but it is, there's a lot of nuts and bolts, if you will, as far as Eire-Nua and how it would work if it were implemented. And again, let's keep in mind that this is just a proposal. It is an alternative, but it is open-ended.
And it's not discussion. What it means by not open-ended is it's not written in stone. The form we were talking about earlier there's currently a 4-page discussion going on Eire-Nua with people, individuals giving their feelings on it and what they see in it and what they think. It's not written in stone. The writers of this have said that open criticism is wanted, needed.
Right, absolutely.
And someone may come up with an idea tomorrow that may be added to it next year. I mean, you never. It's ongoing and changes. It's not. It wasn't just written. While the main structure of it has remained, certain aspects of it has changed in time. Yes,
right, because that's the key. You know, the key ingredient.
The key ingredients will remain the same. Yes,
absolutely. But let's talk a little bit about the conditions. A lot of people don't know the conditions before Eire-Nua will be implemented. The first one is the British Declaration of Intent to Withdraw from Ireland. That's the first condition of Eire-Nua, of course. The second one would be to convene a constituent assembly to draw up a new All-Ireland Constitution. That's our second condition. The third one would be British withdrawal from Ireland and the unconditional release of all political prisoners. And this is before anything would actually, you know, come into play as far as government structures or anything like that. But the first thing is having a British, you know, intent of a declaration of intent to withdraw from Ireland.
Yes.
Without that, you know, we can't move forward. Yeah. So the second one would be convening a constituent assembly from the adult suffrage in Ireland to draw up a new constitution in all Ireland, a 32-county constitution.
All the people of the 32 counties coming together to work on this.
Absolutely. And then, you know, the third one, of course, would be a British withdrawal from Ireland and a unconditional release of all political prisoners. And now we also have some of the principles of Eire-Nua. The first one would be a Charter of Rights, because as we know in the North, there is no Bill of Rights in the North. You know, and this is something that would clearly define the rights and privileges of every citizen, you know, in Ireland, regardless of their religious affiliations, political affiliations,
or their lack of religious
affiliation. Sure.
Basically, unlike the Good Friday Agreement or the Stormont Agreement, which is based on a sectarian head count, politics is decided what number of Catholics is in this area, what number of Presbyterians are in this area, etc., which is a ridiculous way to attempt to run a government, and which only further entrenches a ghettoization of faith-based people. This here would bring everybody together, irregardless of your faith or lack of, or
political affiliations or anything like that.
And coming together to build a new Ireland together.
Yeah, and that's why the Charter of Rights is so important, because it builds security, individual security for each and every citizen. The second principle is new government structures. And if you take a look at the map in the background now, what Eire-Nua calls for, again, is a 4-province federal Ireland with